Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Nick's Toy Box. Today we are looking at the Amazing Spider-Man Sideshow exclusive 1/6 scale figure from Hot Toys. This is part of the Comics Masterpiece line. This was a very limited number, and I missed out on it initially, so I had to buy the secondary. Um, if you are wanting to get it, please make sure you can afford it. Make sure you go from verified sellers, because you don't want to be out the money. But with that, I'm happy to finally have it in hand. It's been one of my big dream figures, one of my grills, if you will. Don't use that word very often, but in this circumstance, it is a grill. So I'm very excited to get into this and show y'all what I think about this figure. And I mean, yeah, so let's do it. Off the bat, I gotta say, love the packaging, how it pays homage to the first appearance of Spider-Man himself. I really like how the logo up top, with the name of the figure looks like a comic book logo. This is dope. This is really cool. I know it's not the actual front cover because he doesn't have the web wings, but I still really like it. It's a really cool touch. And then once we get inside the box, you have this really awesome look at the figure with some like nice photo op here. I love the comic gradient and I love that silver reflective for the Amazing Spider-Man logo. It is paying a nod to the special lenses that we get, which I am so excited to show off. I really love this silver font on there. It really has that nice shimmer and glimmer, which I absolutely love. But of course, once we peel this off, we get this amazing vibrant red and blue popping out at us immediately. Love the inner packaging with that bright red. But I mean, Spider-Man himself just pops. And this is, mwah, chef's kiss already. But we're not here for just this simple packaging. We are here for accessories. And man, do we actually get so many accessories, so many cool accessories and special. I'm excited to get into that base. We will get there. But for now, we have so much more stuff to cover. I'll get the basic stuff out of the way. We get our very standard webs. I do like the color gradient on it because it is like white. It's not translucent, but it's also not like glossy white. I like the kind of flat white on it. We get all the standard webs that you would expect from this era of Hot Toy Spider-Man figures. Um, Nothing too impressive, just standard. So we're not going to really waste time on that. We do get the web wings, which I think are really cool. In theory, I don't like them in practice. I think the points are too sharp, and you really only get a couple of really good looks with them. But I mean, they're cool. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad that we have them. I just don't think I want to use them or anything like that. We have plenty of other cool accessories that, whatever. Speaking of really cool accessories, this right here is awesome. I really like this camera. I like the flash area, how they have it detailed so it looks like it would be actually be able to flash reflective. I love the brand names on there, the detail. I love this strap. It's really loose fitting and moves around freely. Very detailed. I think like I don't know why we don't get something like this with a lot more Spider-Man. Like, something he's famous for. And this is such a cool, unique piece. It's so detailed. I don't know why you wouldn't include it. This right here, though, I'm actually really excited for. I've seen some people be on the fence about really liking it or not caring about it. I think it's awesome. I love having him in the background flying in towards Spider-Man. I think that's a cool little touch. Um, I think it is a really cool thing to add. I like the painting on it. The application's nice. I can really appreciate it. And I mean, like for a cool background accessory with all these other accessories we get, it's really cool. And next we have the extra eyes. We will actually get a better look at these on the figure, but I am excited to have 3 additional on top of the one that it only comes with. We have that reflective, we have the kind of squinted eyes and the super squinted eyes. They're all really cool, but we'll go into detail on those later with the figure itself. Really quick look at the base here. Side note, I didn't realize they still had the protective layer on it, so that's why it looks really weird. I end up peeling it off here in a little bit, which you'll see, but I love that base. I love the color gradients of the red and blue. It really does give me Amazing Spider-Man vibes. I love the comic logo in the middle, like the Spider-Man logo with the comics inside. You get your standard peg there, and you get the slot for Goblin. We have another additional accessory, which I'll show you, but I think we really need to get into these hands because we have a lot of cool hands. And I said it with the Hono Studio black suit, and I'll say it with these ones. I love the comic book look and feel of these. And what I mean by that, like the fingers, like just how they're articulated to look. It very much gives off comic book vibes. I love the textured web lines. Um, I just love how these look. It screams comic book to me. But like I said, I love the texture and the detail on them. I'll go through all of them and show you them. I think one of the things that I really like next to the fingers and stuff themselves, it's just such a cool look. Like, look at that. It very much looks a little unnatural, but it looks natural for comics. I love the inside doesn't have the full webs. It just has some of the lines while the outside has the whole webs. I don't know why I like it as much as I do, but I really like it. Of course, you have your slot there for you could swap it out for the thwipping hands there. So you can make him actually be shooting his webs. You get this really cool fisted hand holding the webs. And I like how it's actually its own hand. We don't have to be weird and stingy with sharing a fist hand with a swinging hand. Thank you for doing that, Hot Toys. We have this cool kind of gripping hand, works really well for the camera, which is kind of its intended purpose. Um, we've got a lot of cool hands here, man. I like these wide open ones. I like how they're kind of layered. It adds some cool depth to it. There's a lot of possibilities for what you can do with those types of hands. So I really appreciate it. Some more wall crawling hands here. I like how they all look different. It really gives that sense of uniqueness. Um, yeah, I don't really try to go over hands like this much for like a Spidey figure, but for all the uniqueness that you get and all the individuality that these have, I think it warrants doing, especially because this is a special Spider-Man, right? This is not your everyday cut of the meal ones. Yeah, that textured look and how it feels, it's really, really cool. But these right here, I absolutely love. I saw some people be kind of divisive about it. I love having these on it. That's how I have it on my display. You have these actual like web shooters that show. They're big and clunky, but I absolutely love them, which we'll get into. Next here is going to be the base. Admittedly, I started doing a video of like the POV of me trying to put it together. Admittedly, I got a little frustrated and took some time just because I don't have the best hands in the world. My hands will cramp up and stuff on me pretty often. So I cut off recording it because I was getting frustrated and my hands needed a break here and there, and it would have been like 3 times speed in order to fit that whole video in here. So you can kind of watch me fumble with it around for a minute until it cuts off, and then I'll show you it all put together. This is me just trying to figure it out. I'll probably cut it a tad bit early, um, just because I don't want to waste time. The thing is really cool, and let's go ahead and transition over to it all assembled so you can get a look at it. The thing is so cool when it actually is all put together. I love how it pops. I love the comic book looks, and I like the red in the back to kind of give it that 3D look. Thank you for this instructions too, because some of it got a little weird to me. I don't normally do this kind of pop-up stuff, so yeah. I forgot to show it earlier when I was going through some of the accessories. You get another little alternative peg that goes up top that you can throw some 3M adhesive on to throw some of these signs up there. You get several choices. You get the Spider-Man, the original show, you get the Amazing Spider-Man, and you get a thwip option. I think they're all really cool. I don't like the idea of 3M. I want something that feels a little less permanent and sticky. Velcro or something would have been nice. There's that alternative piece I was talking about. Um, I'm going to show you what I went with for my personal one with a thwip up top and of course Goblin in the background. And I love the Amazing Spider-Man. It's really fitting for what we're doing here. You can do pretty much whatever you want with your combinations. I just really thought about it because of the idea of the 3M adhesive makes it feel a little more permanent. So this is how I want my stand to look. But we've talked about the stands and the accessories long enough. Let's go ahead and get him out on my little turntable because it's time to actually talk about the figure himself. Mind you, I did say I bought this one secondhand. The person had posed with it a little previously, which you can see by some of the small wrinkling on them. It's not a big deal to me because I do more action poses. But anyways, I love this figure. I love that classic spider on the back. I love the colors. I like the suit design. Um, I like the eyepieces. Everything about this just screams like the older comics, the eras of comics that I really love from Spider-Man. So to me, this is probably like one of my perfect Spider-Man, and I am so happy to finally have them. getting into this figure. I love it so much. I love the web lining. I love that blue, um, the nice dark black on it. Um, Man, I think this is like the perfect Spidey for me for a comic rendition. I think my favorite movie version is going to be the final swing Tom Holland one. Um, but now that I have both of them in my collection, I'm so excited because those are like perfect Spideys. The color matching from the hands to the suit is pretty close. You have a small bit of offness, but like nothing horrible. Seam lines are pretty well hidden. Um, that's a nice small Spidey logo in the front, and like I already talked about earlier, the one in the back. But now we're going to go over some of the other stuff. Before we get in the eyes, I'll take a minute and I'll readdress the web wings again. Like I said, not a fan of how sharp those points are on the suit. It's a no-no to me. It'll dig into it over time. They're magnet, which is fine. You can watch me struggle bus with it here for a minute because I had some trouble figuring out which one was the right one. Let me say this again. For me, it's a no because I don't like the idea of it accidentally digging into my figure, and I'm just not aware because I don't look at it, and I miss it, and next thing you know, it's ruined. Um, like it also limits the posing capabilities because of how wide his arm has to be for the magnet itself to work. I think it is a cool look inherently. I just, between the risk of it digging into the suit and it just limits my posing for what I want to do, not a huge fan of it for that. But I can appreciate that they give it to us because I'm happy they do give it to us. If he had a better head movement, you could do better posing with it. But once I get articulation, you understand why like it's even more limited. Enough of that. Let's get into these eyes here. They're so freaking cool. I love how big and cartoony, they are. They're fairly simple to get out once you figure out how to push them out. You see me struggle with it a bit at first, but then once you get the hang of it, it becomes less of an issue. So, you know, still be a little cautious, but you don't have to be that cautious. I'll start off with the ones that are my personal least favorite just because of how I want to display. That's going to be the super squinty eyes. I still really like them. If you're doing something where you're trying to tell a story with your figure and you need something like this, it really does a good job. It screams a little too Deadpool for me personally. That's what I see when I see them. But there are some instances where maybe it's more appropriate. I don't want to say I don't like them. I just don't care for them out of the options we have. After I get these ones situated, we're going to roll over to the next set, which is going to be like the kind of halfway squinty eyes. Um, Once again, not some of my favorites. I'm glad that we have the inclusion of them because more accessories is always appreciated. Just for me, not really the biggest fan of them. I don't hate them. I just don't really care for them. Plus, we get like way cooler eyes, and by that I mean like we have those standard eyes and the chrome eyes, which I prefer more as opposed to either one of the squinties. But like I said, there's probably poses that really work well, maybe like with the camera doing some photography or something like that. So I get it, and I'm glad we have them. Next up are going to be my favorite and the ones that I choose to go with for my display. And that is going to be the metallic chrome ones. They are really cool, super reflective, so you get to see me there in the camera. Say hi, me. Oh, there I am. They're really cool. This is the look for me. I love them. Yeah, I think they're perfect. Uh, they're really cool. I like that kind of like scalding look there. He looks really intense, really serious, and it really just pops it out even more. Thumbs up for that one because I love it. Of course, next up on the list, gotta talk about articulation. Like I stated earlier, he doesn't have the best head movement because of the fabric being all one. So when you try to lift him up, not really that great, and he doesn't really look down all that great. So you're really limited on that. The side to side is really nice for what you need from a Spider-Man, I think. Ab crunch is superb going forward and going back, of course. Only downside that's going to be wrinkles and stress to the suit. Got your really good T-pose going up really high. Going back is no problem. It doesn't pull on the suit and the armpits all that much, about as much as a normal figure, so keep that in mind. So front to back, not really a big issue. We get the really good full elbow bends here, which is, of course, what you want. You get some really good upper legs and the knee bends here. Really nice. Get some really good bending. Same thing, the ankle is really good, and then the feet move around a lot. You see mine popped off there. I was able to get it popped in. Back in, fairly simple. So this is me kind of just fidgeting around with it. So sorry about that, but let's get it rolling back again. And there you go. You get the really good toe bends. So articulation on this thing is pretty good. Because I mean, like, we even get some good stuff in the torso region when you want to get them like side to side, which I can go ahead and show it off here. Like, you know, like you get some relatively good movement here, which is really nice from a figure. Um, just if the head was a little better, I'd like it a lot more. Also, meant to add, they actually have a really cool like texture thing at the end of the fabric for the suit around the hand pegs, so it keeps it in place and stationary, which is really, really nice. Let's have some fun with some posing. This dude is loads of fun to pose because of the accessories he comes with. The alternative eyes, see, this is a circumstance for the squinty eyes, play in really well. Um, I really like that fisted hand with the webs, because when you actually have this attachment on it, it fits in really nice, really well. Him with the display stand, so much going on. It is a lot, but it works out really, really well. This is a pretty close look to how mine looks on my display. Just I have the chrome on mine. I'm not doing the chrome a lot for the filming just because of how reflective they are. Um, but just so you can see kind of how mine looks on my display, this is a pretty close match. This figure is freaking awesome. Posing him is loads of fun. You can do so much. But that's it for me. Like I said, some of my big complaint takeaways is the articulation for the head, the wings, but otherwise, I like this figure a lot. Probably one of my favorite in my collection now. Let me know what you think. And as always, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, share with your friends, comment, all those words. This has been Nick's Toy Box. I really appreciate you watching. Until next time, we will see ya.